Hello, what's up? It's your boy, Ando-san. And yes, this is the second thumb tutorial. I really am glad that you guys enjoyed the first one, and it seemed to help a lot of you guys develop or start the technique, and that's freaking awesome. I really appreciate you guys checking it out. It just hit 1,000 views, so I thought I'll make a second one. But before I move on, as you can see, we got this setup here. It's a lot better than before. I actually put in more effort this time. Got a microphone, got the camera, got the lights and all that stuff. Got to get the ambiance going. It took a long time to set up, but it's fun. But I want to answer some of your questions here in the comments because a lot of you guys asked some pretty good questions, so I want to answer them. This is from Malmute Hamscone. Hey man, got a ticket for the masterclass, but have a question I think will help me get to other questions I want to ask by then. Do you think it's beneficial to learn the technique on higher strings because it's more difficult? Or do you think the solid foundation of the lower strings are more conducive to getting it down and it's a walk before run situation? Or am I just overthinking this? No, you're not overthinking it. It's definitely beneficial to learn how to thump on higher strings. I don't know if you have checked out any of my music, but a lot of times I don't really just play on the lower strings. I usually do play on the higher strings, and I honestly like thumping on the higher strings more than the lower strings. So definitely beneficial to learn both. The technique sort of changes based on like where you play string wise. Definitely try not to play as aggressive on the higher strings, because I feel like if you play aggressively on the higher strings, then it'll mess up the fluidity of the thumping. So I hope that answered your question. Alright, so let's get into it. Let's see. This question is from the Unfettered Opinion. Serious question. Do you need a hitchhiker's thumb? Well, I have a hitchhiker's thumb. Tosin has a hitchhiker's thumb. A bunch of other people I know have hitchhiker thumbs and they thump. And I also know people that don't have hitchhiker thumbs and they thump. So, no, you don't really need it. But I think there's an unspoken thing about the hitchhiker thumb with the thumping thing. I actually do think it benefits you. I guess it's something I need to look into more. But as far as I know, I don't think it helps, but it's not like essential to developing like a proper thumb technique. I think if anything, it will just change the thumping technique. So a lot of times, like a lot of the stuff that I'm showing you guys will probably be beneficial for your thumb in particular, like my thumb. So for people with like or people that don't have hitchhiker's thumbs, if you find that my way of doing thumping is kind of weird for you, definitely try to switch up the technique. I do think there is a difference in terms of like hitchhiker thumbs and just like non-hitchhiker thumpers. Yeah, but I do think there's a difference, but it's not essential. You can still thump, guys. I know plenty of people that do not have hitchhiker thumbs that can thump, and they sound great. All right, let's see. Let's look for some more questions. All right, so this this question is from Slump Jesus. I love these names are amazing. Okay, hey Ando, super glad you released this because I've been wanting to learn your stuff. Quick question: is my thumb gonna callus over, or am I forever in pain? It's gonna callus over. Don't worry. It's gonna hurt a bit. I definitely developed callus when I started thumping. It's gonna hurt. Just a little bit. Of course, if you start bleeding, please stop playing. That's really bad and it's not good for you. But most definitely, you will develop callus and you won't feel pain anymore. Okay, another question from Jose Macarillo. Sorry if I butchered your last name. Super sorry. Hey Ando-san, just subbed. I have a doubt. Are you the same guy of Incipients fan? Sorry for such a dumb question. But if you are, I love it. It's not a dumb question at all, man. I was in Incipients. Yes, I'm not in Incipients anymore, though. Ando-san is my main project. And Incipients was fun, but not in the band anymore. All right, so I think that's about it for the questions. And we're going to move on to the listen now. Let me get my guitar right now. So for this next listen, we're going to be talking about a couple of things. We're going to be talking about my approach in terms of creating thump riffs, composition, and then we're going to be talking about two more things, I guess, right hand technique and left hand technique. So in terms of composition and the way that I go about writing thump riffs and stuff, everything's patterns, you know. In terms of like triplets, freaking 4-note thumping phrases, double thumping. It's all about kind of like learning how to combine all of those different aspects and of thumping patterns to create a riff. And a lot of times, a lot of people have a hard time with that. So the previous lesson, we went over double thumping and triplets. So we're going to be utilizing a lot of that with this listen. And I'm not going to be doing anything crazy. I'm going to be playing a lot of the stuff that I've already made, which is from my album Scheming Season. And particularly, we're going to be talking about a one thump riff song called Annie. So the cool thing about Annie is the thump riff in Annie is that pretty much I'm just doing a ton of triplets and triplet hammer-ons, and I'm doing double thumping. So one example is that I'm going to play the beginning of this riff real quick. Pop that on. So when I did that, there was 3 triplets happening there. So the first 2 triplets were just like simple triplet runs. It was just da-da-da-da-da. But the next one was a triplet hammer-on. So that's sort of like a neat little pattern that you can use to add more embellishment with your thumping runs. So this is what it sounds like. So there's 2 dead notes that happen on triplet hammer-ons. There's the downstroke, which is a dead note. The upstroke is a dead note. And then after that, the pluck is the hammer-on. So essentially, let's just say if you have like a simple triplet run like right here on the 5th fret on the B string, then I'll play an octave on that as well. So you could do that. So you could play this first, and after that you can do the triplet hammer-on, like a whole step hammer-on there on the 5/7, and you can add that into that little pattern that you're creating. So that's what I'm doing here with the beginning thump riff in that song. So we're going to keep going. So that part's kind of tricky. So right after I do this, I'm incorporating a double thump at the end of that phrase. So I'm doing a triplet there, and I'm doing a hammer-on there, as you can see. So it's kind of like a half of a triplet hammer-on, but instead that you're doing like a double thump there instead of a triplet. Simple as that. Well, actually, it's not that simple. It's pretty hard. But you're going to be fine. All right, so we're going to keep going. Another triplet hammer-on. I'm sure you guys are going to kind of catch on here. That was another triplet hammer-on. All that was just like, I think like 3 triplet hammer-ons, and then I do like a little triplet sweep here. And after that, after I get up here, do another triplet hammer-on, and then we're going. Repeat. Super fun riff, but that is a good example in terms of just like how I go about incorporating like triplets and double thumping. And then I'm sure, as you can see, there's only like one double thumping phrase in this entire riff. So yeah, very minimal. And that's the thing. You don't want to do too much, because if you do too much, then it's going to get too busy and you're not going to be able to add anything else in between those thump riffs. And I'm the type of guy, I don't really like doing busy thump riffs. On my new album, there's going to be some busy thump riffs, but I try not to do too many busy thump riffs, I guess, because I'm more of like a rhythm and groove guy, and I just think this just sounds super sick when you just stick to the rhythm and the groove and lock in with the drums, and you're just on tempo and you're just super solid. I just think that sounds super sick. So another thing I want to talk about is pacing. So pacing is very important as well. Pacing is key. Now, there are a couple things with pacing. So let's just say you're doing a triplet hammer-on. You're gonna have to kind of there's a slight rest there when you do it. Slight rest, and it actually happens like after you do the initial triplet phrase. That's kind of like the way I try to explain it to people, so they can kind of get the rhythm going. In terms of, I had to turn down my guitar. That noise was crazy. In terms of like get the rhythm on track with tempo and everything. So really paying attention to how you're playing and trying to keep yourself together in terms of the pacing portion of thumping is very important, because if your pacing's off, then your triplets are going to be off. And let's just say you're string skipping and you're doing a bunch of crazy string skipping stuff on the guitar, like as you can see, like my right hand is just in constant motion. And a lot of the pacing is coming from my left hand, you know. My left hand knows when to press down on the strings. You're not slurring any notes, because when you hear me play this, there was no slurs there. It was only because like I've really practiced working on my pacing with my left hand and my right hand. And that's a very big thing. And this all goes back to the whole technique portion of it, like right hand and left hand autonomy and stuff. It's really, really important to try to keep pacing together with both of these little things here. You need that. You need them good hands. You need them hands, boy. But yeah. So that's a lot of the stuff that I wanted to talk about today. And I kind of want to leave you guys with this. When you're practicing thumping, try to develop a sort of repetition with the technique. Because if you don't develop a repetition with the technique, then you're not going to develop it. And then if you don't develop it, then you're not developing your muscle memory. Because a lot of it is muscle memory, you know? As all techniques are, I think. It's just muscle memory based, you know? And, of course, having practice routines and patterns to work with help. So you can get my Prog Hop Thump package. My Prog Hop Thump package has 4 tabs. There's also videos included in the tab package. There's Guitar Pro X files, there's PDF files, the whole shebang. And if you get that, there's tons of riffs and patterns that you can use to practice. Oh, I also included backing tracks, so you can play to some backing tracks while you thump. So yeah, it's a very intensive package, and it's also just $10. It's pretty affordable. It's on my Bandcamp, so if you need something to practice on, definitely pick up my tabs, and I think it will be really helpful to you guys to kind of have something in your repertoire to play. And if you pick up my tabs, you'll have that. So definitely get that. But I hope this isn't too boring. I'm going to be doing a lot more tutorial videos. And yeah. I also want to show you guys something. Of course, you see I got some Ando San merch here. This is the Ripples design. My girlfriend designed it, and I have merch in my Bandcamp. So if you want some merch, link in description. We'll have all that jazz. Pick up some threads. Also, I wanted to say something real quick. I'm doing a masterclass with some friends. Chris Anopoulos, Icaro Paiva, Awandile Prusent. And we're doing a masterclass, and it's going to be on Zoom. You can also pick up those tickets, link in description. So I'm going to be giving away 1 Polymoon and 1 Autobit. These pedals are amazing. I love Maris. This is by far my favorite pedal company of all time. And they grace me with the ability to give away some pedals. So, yeah. If you sign up, you might win one of these. Tickets in the description. There's going to be some other giveaways as well from companies like Horizon Devices, the String Stores, Happy Cables, and Swiss Picks. So it's going to be a raffle type thing. So in order to enter, you have to buy the tickets. So get your tickets. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to make something real quick. I'm definitely going to be uploading every 2 weeks from now on. And this is going to be a bunch of random stuff. You guys got to let me know what you want to see. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more thumping tutorial stuff, and should be fun. You guys have a great night or day. Ando sign out.